Rightio. So, next area then, theory. Now, again, this is an area that a lot of people tend to shy away from. They don't spend a lot of time on. I'm just generalising here. Some people might be sitting there waving their fist at the camera saying, I do spend time on my theory. So I might be wrong. Apologies if I am. But a lot of guitarists I find, and I've taught over the years, don't know a lot about theory, don't really want to know. They want to know a little bit. They always do when they've been playing a little bit longer. People always start hankering for a bit more knowledge. But generally on the whole, they want to learn their favourite songs, and that's it. But this is where we're going to change this. I don't really believe in sitting there and writing out scales on a bit of paper. I can see where people are coming from when they do teach it that way, and there's nothing wrong in that. But what I believe is that we need to be always applying this stuff and making it useful. So otherwise there's no point. We've got a lot of pretty looking scales on a page. It all looks nice and neat. You're very good at writing out your scales and your treble clefs and whatnot. But you can't apply it to the guitar. No good to us at all. So what we're going to do is, rather than calling it theory, I always think of it as theory on guitar. That's the way I like to think of it, and we're applying it to the guitar. So, a major scale then. Let's apply that to this guitar. First of all, we're going to look at how we measure things on the guitar, okay? And on most instruments, I think. Generally, piano is the same. I know that for certain. But in guitar, in music, anyway, we measure things as tones and semitones, or wholes and halves. So, what we've got here then is, what is a tone? Well, a tone will be 2 frets length of the neck. So we've got, that's the semitone, 1 fret. So it's like the jaw C. We go up another one, we've got from F to G, so we come up a whole tone. So that's a tone. Moving from G to A, it's another tone. If we went up 1 fret though, we'd have G, we'd only move up a semitone, so it'd be G sharp or A flat. So we measure everything in tones and semitones, that's the way I like to think of it. Anyway, so we need to then find the formula. Now the formula, some of you might have learnt this, if you've only been recently out of school, you might have learnt this in music or something. Some of you might still remember some of that stuff from back then. It's going to be a formula that we're going to use, using tones and semitones. So we've got tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. And if we use that formula, we're going to create the major scale. So what we're going to do is I'm going to apply this to our second string, first fret, and we're going to play our C note. We're going to make our C major scale. So we've got C, going up a whole tone. So we're going to go 2 frets, 1, 2. So we've got D note, go up another tone. So we've got D sharp to E. Then we've got a semitone. So we're going to go up 1 fret, gets us to F. Then we're going to go up a tone, so G, up another tone to A, up another tone to B, and the semitone gets us to C. Now, even if you don't know any theory at all, you can tell already that that sounds right. So you're using your ears a bit there, which is what we're going to be using for ear training. But the other thing is, we've got 2 things in music, that we have the B and the C are always a semitone together apart, and the E and the F are always a semitone apart, sorry. So we have, again, that Jaws theme's popping up again. So there's your E note, which you know is your E string, and then there's your F. And again for B and C, straight we can hear that you've not got that note in between, which is on the journey to the other note. You've got this, and it's there. So that straight away, we know it works there because there's a semitone movement there, and we know there's a semitone movement between E and F as well. And then we formed our scale. But straight away, we've taken a formula that I would have written down on paper, but rather than getting you to write it out on the musical stave, or even write it out as tab, but mostly you'd probably write it on a musical stave, we've got you to play it on the neck of the guitar, which is what we want to do. Start applying this stuff to actually music and playing it on the guitar. So a good thing you do then is, later on when you're looking at your technique lessons as well, then you'd be looking at things like this, your 3-note string major scale exercises. Straight away you've just played exactly the same scale that you already worked out, that you would have worked out in your theory lessons, even with just 1 finger, but you then just apply different fingers so that you could get across the neck or up and down the neck quicker, and then you made a sequence that made it sound more musical. And there you have it. So you've actually applied something now. It's only a snippet, just, you know, it's the tip of the iceberg of what we can do, but this just shows you how you're applying it on the guitar. So this is your paper and your hands are your pens, in a sense, I suppose you could think of. We take the formulas, we apply them straight to the guitar. None of this writing it down. We can do a little bit of that, but we need to get you to be applying this so straight away you start to make some kind of connection between the two things. And like I say, all 5 subjects should all come together at some point, and then you know that you're actually becoming a musician. You're actually using everything you've learned rather than having bits and bobs all over the place thinking, well, why did I learn that? Well, what's that got to do with this thing here? So we need to bring this together so it's all encompassing. Hope you enjoyed that. It's just a short snippet on why I teach and how I teach theory, and I'll hope to see you soon. Take care.